What's up, y'all? Henry Higuita here with another episode of Across the Pitch, where we are in the spirit of giving away goals, that is. Once again, a solid first half performance was, mired by a bad giveaway, terrible giveaway. Brooks Lennon assisting New York City FC. Yes, club leading assister Brooks Lennon assisted the other team in the start of a 4-0 blowout against NYCFC, and then literally watching the U.S. men's national team right now. Ironically, starting goalkeeper for NYCFC, Matt Freese, just gives away the tying goal to Haiti. So I guess we're just cursed to watch teams give away goals. And we get to do that again on Wednesday when Atlanta United goes to Columbus to face the Crew. Fortunately, it's not Star Wars Day, so it might not be that bad. But we're going to talk about this game. I have a new guest here. It is Ben from the Upper 90 Club. Ben, what is up, my dude?
Hey, Mom, I'm on TV!
That's an amazing helmet you have, by the way.
I couldn't find the mask I was wearing that one time I was on your podcast.
That's fine. But nobody on this podcast has seen the helmet, so it's actually good that we have
This
new
is
stuff.
the first time this helmet has been on any podcast, because as you can tell, it doesn't fit. Oh, man, it actually is fitting, kind of. Huh. I found it on the side of the road. True story.
Amazing. Well, now it's all decked out in the Crew stickers and stuff.
And
so,
lights.
Ben, first of all, I have one big question for you. When looking up stuff on Columbus, on the Crew, on the city in general, there's one word that kind of stuck out, and it's massive. What does the word massive mean for the Crew?
The Oxford Dictionary defines massive as a huge, big thing. It's a joke from way back where everybody was like, we always considered Columbus massive when it was like we're clearly not a like prime city for the MLS. So it was like, oh, New York and LA and all this stuff, and then we just had joked around like, oh yeah, Columbus is massive. So it was like tongue in cheek, and it just kind of stuck. So that's kind of what that means this year. I don't even know. I've a massive gap in where our players are at, or a massive gap up front, but massive friendships, which is what Columbus is all about. The heart of it all.
I like that.
Thanks.
Massive friendships. Friendship, Crew, Friendship United.
Friendship.
Heck yeah. Well, y'all were pretty busy over the winter. I want to talk about that because y'all were massive, right? 2023, massive, winning MLS Cup. 2024, massive, winning Leagues Cup, getting to the CONCACAF Champions Cup final.
Yeah, dog.
And then y'all had a massive offseason with some massive outgoing. Let's talk about the massivest of those, Cucho Hernandez. Oh my gosh, how much are y'all missing him?
Oh, the most. I mean, let's be real. We knew we were on borrowed time with Cucho as soon as he started to take off, I was like, dude, this guy's going back to the Prem or he's going over to the Liga. Like, there's no way he's going to stay. How it happened and when it happened, I think was a surprise to like us and the front office probably, and partially Cucho maybe, but like it seemed like overnight he was gone along with Christian. So like our, star-studded front three who was phenomenal was just gutted without, any replacement. So it's been a weird season for us. Like, I don't, there's just not a whole, it's very difficult. And it's hard for me to talk to the Atlanta people. Cause like I said, we're really good friends with you guys and like Tommy, and like, I text him all the time. Like we should, we on paper lost a lot of people and should not be that good, but we are, but you guys on paper should be like number one in the world. And I'm like, what is happening? Like, nothing makes sense. But all I'm saying is nothing makes sense. So, yeah, Cucho's a huge miss. Cucho's an absolute huge miss. Yeah, if you want to go down through it, man, it's crazy. I haven't looked at a graphic like this about who kind of left and who we picked up. And it's definitely not like a like for like. You can't draw one arrow to the next. So, yeah, we lost Cucho. We lost Christian. Matan is an interesting one. He was a a fun player for a little bit. The issue with Matan was he was like a U-23 player, and I think for his salary, if we had to sign him, it would have had to have been almost like a, I don't want to say DP contract. It was just the cost and benefit didn't work out. Yao leaving was kind of interesting because I feel like he wasn't on that much, but he was definitely kind of an impact player. DeJuan Jones was another one that it seemed like overnight. I was really excited when we got him, and then when he got in the system, it was kind of clear that he didn't click. So I can see him going. Same thing with Hinostroza. The Wild thing, like Hinostroza went to I can't remember off the top of my head. I think it's somebody back in the Colombian league. Oh, I could be wrong with that. I have to fact check it.
Atlético Nacional. That's my team, bro.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, he played well there, and he's being called up to the Colombian national team. Some it's like that again. Like nothing's real, nothing makes sense. Like it's been that way since as soon as I heard Cucho was gone, everything, my whole world's been like turned upside down. And then Keegan Hughes that was never gonna happen. That's kind of a homegrown guy. And actually Romero, we sent him out on loan. I think we called him back because again, the same thing happened last year where Schulte's hurt or playing for the US, and Hagen, our backup goalkeeper, who I would argue would start for most every other team, is out on loan not on loan. He's with Guatemala right now and having a great time and doing really well. So now we're back to Evan Bush, who is my age, like 1 foot in the grave. So I think we have Abraham Romero called back up because we can't have another situation where we have Zawadzki going into goal.
That was too funny, by the way.
Oh,
remembering that game where you only had that one goalkeeper and
did you
sent off.
Did you see the FIFA card that came out? He's a goalkeeper with oh man. Oh man.
Perfect.
Good job, FIFA. That's the one and only time I've said that sentence. Well done.
I mean, I kind of wanted to ask you because Cucho Hernandez, the type of player that he is, he can play pretty much anywhere on that front line, you know, and he's kind of everywhere from what it seems. To me, he looked a lot kind of what Joseph was back, you know, here in his prime, where, you know, he's got the pace. You know, he isn't the tallest guy on the field, but he can get in the air. He could just find a way to finish in a pinch. And so how do you replace a player like that?
Well, honestly, he was kind of a chaos agent. I drew a direct line to Martinez when he started playing for us. I was like, he reminds me of Joseph. Like that guy was unplayable when he was in his prime, I guess you can say. So the thing with Cucho, I would say, is the crew are the way Nancy's system is set up. Cucho excelled in that position, but I don't think he was looking for someone with his player profile. Like he inherited Cucho, and it just so happened that he was unstoppable when you put him in that system. Now that we're looking at players to get, you can't get somebody like Cucho. They don't exist. Like, where do you find that person who isn't making a bajillion dollars? You know what I mean? Like, it's just not a thing. So if we're not looking for a like for like, we were stoked about Gazdag. We brought that dog. We pet that dog. He came in and we were stoked. I mean, I loved him when he was playing at Philly. Like that guy was dangerous. I think he has 11 or 12 games with us and only has 1 assist. So there that is. So, I mean, obviously we're looking for somebody else up top. On paper, we're doing okay, you know, putting in goals, winning games, getting results, but it is, you know, optically, it is very different than last season. Like we are very lucky to have Wilfred Nancy as a coach. These are team won games when, you know, a lot of the games during the last 2 years were like, what's going to happen? Just, you know, Superman Cucho is going to come, and he always did. And now we do not have that player. And it's like, well, you got to go find the guy. And it's like, yeah, that's not good. A player like that's not going to come to the MLS unless he was, you know, I think he was injured with Wolves. That's the reason why we got him. It's because he was like, you know, just coming back and like hadn't proven himself. So it was kind of, they pitched him the idea like, hey, come to our team. We'll build you back up and then you can move to where you want to. And that's exactly what happened. Yeah, and as far as the ends go, we have, Amar Sedic. He came from Nancy's old system, so he knew him. Same thing with Lassi Lapalainen. He came from Montreal. Those two guys were proven entities, how Nancy puts it. So it was kind of like he knew what he was going to get. Evan Bush, we just re-signed. Like he was just our third or fourth string goalkeeper. But again, he's going to get to play because our goalkeepers are constantly leaving the country on international duty.
You can never have too many goalkeepers, right?
Not now. Yeah. So in the 30 years, we've had 2 games where we've had to have a player sub in and actually play goalie. I think you guys had one as well, didn't you?
Did we?
I think because we were joking about it last time I was on. So we also signed Stanis Lapkus. So that's another, a Crew 2 player. Cesar Ruvalcaba was wild. We picked him up. I don't think he played professionally prior to Crew 2. He played like 2 games and then he got signed by our first team. And we're like, what? Every game he's played, he has been awesome. So we have this super young, I think he's like 20, 21 maybe, center back who is really, really, really good. Like hasn't made a mistake and he's probably played, I don't know, 500 minutes or something like that. Ali Ibrahim, Ibrahim, we picked him up for, I think, the 70 grand or something like that, like the bare minimum from Houston. It was like just a weird trade. And he's really quick. He basically reminds me of that Yao Yaboa that we had before. Just optically, again, I didn't think he was that great, but he has 2 goals already in like 3 games or something like that. So we've made our money back on him, I guess you can say. And Tristan Brown is another Crew 2 signing. So I'm looking here. Let's see. Half of them are Crew 2 signings. 2 of them came from Montreal from cheap, and so did Ali. And the only signing we actually made that would be considered worthwhile is Gazdag. And I would say he is the least impactful player that we've signed out of that entire crew, which is wild.
Wow.
Yeah, because Lassi already has
a DP, right? He's a DP.
Yeah, and like 2 games in, we signed him to like a multi-year deal. And it's like, we signed him again for like 2 more years. It's like, got him. It's like, okay. And he's not a bad player. Like, we know he's a good player, but like, it just, something's not right. And we're like, it's going to click. It's going to click. It's going to click. But that was a baker's dozen games ago. Now it hasn't clicked.
But how does he actually fit? Because like,
no way.
On the surface, you're like, okay, he's not like a traditional number 9. He's not like I guess, like you said, you can't really replace Cucho, but he seems like a weird way to fill that gap. And it looks like he's playing as sort of an inside forward now. I mean,
right. So it's wild. Like if you look at our starting lineup, which we'll get to here in a bit, a lot of those guys were like forwards, like including the defense, including like, so we go after currently like what we call total footballers. If you've seen Ted Lasso or, whatever. So everybody needs to be able to play every single position at any time, except for goalie. We've already gone over that. But so Gazdag seemed like it would be perfect. He was like a high pressing dude. He ran a bunch. He's basically a total footballer, but we really we already have that in like 3 or 4 different players. He's like a false 10 is what I call him, which doesn't make it, because he's not a 9. He's not really a false 9. We play with like 3 to 5 up top when in possession. So like, it's just hard to explain. Like it doesn't make sense why it doesn't work. Although it seems like Latte Laf isn't working out, and that seemed like an alley-oop slam dunk. So it just, again, this is the year of like, what's happening? What's real?
Maybe this season isn't real. Maybe this is all a simulation.
That's what I'm saying. We're in the Matrix, but just this season.
Just for this season.
Yeah.
Next season it'll be all good.
Back real life. Yeah.
But for now, let's talk about this season and where Columbus is. Columbus is 4th in the East with 31 points, an 8-3-7 record. Y'all recently went 6 games winless, but got right against Vancouver, which is a pretty good team to get right against. What are your thoughts on the season so far?
Again, weird, man. I mean, we're 2 games out of Supporter Shield and the top of the East. We haven't really lost, but what, 3 games? And the games we've lost are always going to be like, we don't do well against Miami. We don't do well against Charlotte. That is just dim the brakes. So dropping those were okay. We hit kind of a skid where we were doing a bunch of tying. The issue with those is again the offensive production. We did get right against Vancouver. That was a good game, even though they had players out. Like Brian White was out, I think. Blackman was there. They have like they have a lot of good players, but that was a good team win game, and like I said, when we're going to play you and then we play Philly on the weekend, when we play Atlanta, I think it will be very much like you'll see a team game. So it'll be different than how it used to be, but that's kind of been our saving grace all season, is that because Nancy has drilled everybody can succeed. We just hit a skid with some scoring goals, and it's weird. Like it sucks to complain about, because Atlanta and others, like Galaxy is hilarious for like winning the league and then like not winning a game for the entire year. But yeah, we called it at the beginning of the season. It's like, we're going to do well and we're going to complain the entire time because it wasn't the Cucho Ramirez. We go out and smash team 6-0. It's like, we'll be 2 games off Supporter Shield and be like, kind of sucks. Like, we're not doing that well. And it's like, everybody else in the league is like, dude, come on.
Must be nice.
Yeah. It's like, champagne problems or whatever, but it reminds me of
massive problems. Sorry, terrible.
No, joke. Good. And hey, end of the podcast. Let's go. Great. Bookmark it. But yeah, I mean, if Ohio State, it's like Ohio State will like go all season and like lose one game, and then everyone will be like, that was a failed season because Ohio State fans are the worst. I'm an Ohio State fan. We are the worst. That's how it feels like supporting the Crew now. It's like, we're doing well, but all of us are kind of like, something's not right. And everyone outside of Columbus is like, you guys are a bunch of turds. You're like, yeah, probably.
I mean, again, things could be worse. You could be here in Atlanta giving away goals.
Oh man, 5-1. Oh man.
Yeah, it's best not to talk about it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the lineup for this game. Your predicted 11. Here it is on screen. Walk me through it. Tell me how this all goes together.
Sure. So he doesn't do a lot of changes in lineups. The last game there was some because of injury and whatnot. Typically he rolls out the same 11 to 12 people 100% of the time. Like everybody that you're looking at right now, if they haven't been injured or for whatever reason, they will play 90 minutes of it. Like, he doesn't make subs. He plays with a small amount of people. You got Steven, Evan Bush in the back because Schulte is hurt, like I said. And I'm pretty sure anybody that comes back from international duty, he always gives breaks to, which is nice. So the only keeper we have on the bench right now is Evan Bush. So there you go. Moreira's back. He should be good. Zawadzki will play in the middle. He played last game. He was injured prior, but he's good. And Chaburko's been starting out on the left too. So those 3 should be there. Nagbe and Shambo in the middle. That's just been I would say the reason why we're winning games. Shambo has been great. He plays like a 6, 8, 10 at some points. I think he's the most traveled player in the league currently. Like, he has the most miles under his belt. He got a rest last game. Same thing with Mo Farsi because he was out with Algeria. They're back. They're both healthy. They'll probably both start. And Aliou was a wild card last game, but he scored in the first minute. So again, just roll him out. Then Arston is the guy who normally plays out on the left. If you follow the U.S. men's national team, he's been playing the left wing back for them. So he won't play. And then up top, you've got Rossi and the Dag. Those 2 will definitely start. And then AZ's been the one starting up top. But that could also switch with Russell Rowe. But man, Russell Rowe's been coming off the bench and looked stupid good. So that's what I'm thinking. And this is kind of like yeah, we kind of had a skid. We got a win last week. I think this is gonna start our return to form, if you will. Unfortunately for Atlanta, still
We're used
friends.
to it. No, it's good. I
How
mean,
hot is it down there today?
it's not that bad. I mean, it was like 90 today.
Up here it was like approaching 100. So I'm like, dude, I can't imagine the hot Atlanta is probably like 200,
Yeah,
250.
it actually wasn't that bad today because it hadn't rained for a while, so it's not like you were getting too much humidity. But yeah, the sun was out, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, tell me a little bit about the play style here of Columbus. I know we're used to non-C ball, we're used to kind of the death by a thousand passes and their ability to kind of break down teams. How does this 2025 version of Columbus work?
So not at the beginning of the season, like you said, you remembered the just beautiful football that he was playing, but according to him, that was not exactly what he was going for. Again, he took the players he had, like Cucho and Ramirez, and that's what they did. He said this year, even without Cucho, is more his style. It's still a lot of possession and passing. It's always, we have the ball, we dictate play. Um, the thing that we kind of added this year was more direct balls over the top. So instead of just always coming back and starting from the back and trying to build out and do that type of stuff, every once in a while we will just hoof it long. So it's more of like, instead of like tried and true, because some teams have started figuring us out, especially the last 6 or 7 games. They just let us have it, and they hit us on the counter, and we've been struggling. Anything that's like borderline on the counter, we have been struggling against the past 5 or 6 games. So that's something, and the way to mitigate that is, hoofing it long and keeping the other team like, so they can't just pack it in. So like we'll bring them out, we'll kick it long. That way they're not just like sitting 5 in the back. It's like it's more of just like, you run to set up the pass, you pass to set up the run in football. So it's the same basic thing. Again, same thing that we've normally been doing. It's just there's a little bit of a variation. And I mean, in possession, it's still like all out attack, especially at home. We play a high line. So, yeah, not a lot has changed. Looking at the stats at the end of the game this year, we don't have as much dominant possession. We don't have as many shots on goal are the big thing that we've been struggling on. Like we've had like maybe 8 shots, 10 shots, and 3 on goal. And it's like, dude, how are you going to win games if you only have 3 shots on goal? Cucho had like 12 in the first half of every game. So like, that's the frustrating thing, is like us trying to break down that tight back line. And how do you guys play? Do you guys play like, do you guys play the game of soccer?
That's a great question. I don't know what they're playing these days. I mean, at first the idea was kind of a possession-based game where what we were sold on in preseason was a team where you have Alexei Moranchuk at the 10, who is a through-ball artist, and he is going to play penetrating passes to Latte Lat, who will kill teams with his speed because he is crazy fast. That much is true.
He's a beast.
However, Atlanta United doesn't really play that way, partially because it struggles to get the ball forward in really, really good positions. Second of all, because Moranchuk hasn't really been that type of 10. He struggles when put in that traditional 10 role.
Right.
In terms of, under pressure, he just kind of doesn't take the right decisions. He panics a little bit. And so they've had to take him out of the actual attacking midfielder role, and they moved him to like almost an 8. So like almost more like a right center midfielder in a midfield 3, if that makes any sense.
It does.
And he's actually thrived there a lot. And I wrote about it this week.
Good. Shambo's like that. Shambo we brought in as a 10 or a striker, and for all of last season he would sub in and play up top, and now he's playing like an 8-6 role, and he is the linchpin of this team as of currently, and it's like, oh, cool, it's smart.
like Moravcic's passing is good. His long passing is phenomenal, and he's
That's
able to
awesome.
play some pretty darn good, like lobbed balls. And that's how last game he played one to TRA, and it somehow was not called a penalty. That should have been called a penalty, but
That was a penalty.
we'll argue with pro some other time.
I watched that. That was like cool. I was like, was it it was Boyko.
Yes.
Yes, we have a long history with that guy where Nancy got red carded. I mean, Nancy, if you know Nancy, like the nicest guy in the entire world, he got red carded that game with like 2 of our players. We ended the game with
What?
like 4 players and an ice cream cone. Like
Okay.
the whole game was shot. Like
So it's par for the
he should
course
not
with Boyko.
be. As soon as I saw him, I was like, oh, this isn't a penalty. And they're like, no penalty. I was like, oh, you were the worst
That
ref ever.
broke me, dude. That broke me.
Yeah.
They would have been in the lead at that point in that game if it would have freaking happened. But whatever. I'm not going to dwell on that. But yeah, his passing has been pretty good. Latte Lot is a weird thing because, again, the idea is he runs in behind lines, right? Behind defenders.
Sure.
And gets onto 3 balls. But the way they've been playing him this season, because the team kind of struggles to get the ball forward effectively, is he's almost been like a target man, which isn't his style at all. He's not a Giakoumakis. He's not the type of guy that'll use his physical to kind of hold the ball and play in teammates. And so, he's had his moments where he's received the ball with his back to goal, and so he can't really do anything.
You know who he'd be good for? Us.
Probably. And LAFC also thought of that.
Yeah. Well, Giakoumakis is coming back from what I heard. Have you heard anything about him signing?
Apparently, Charlotte has his discovery rights because Charlotte gets the discovery rights of every decent player that Atlanta signs.
Yeah.
So who knows? But yeah, I've heard him.
Yeah. With Aubameyang and Zaha, they don't have the money.
Ajimong.
Yeah, Ajimon. I'm sorry. Aubameyang. Oh god.
Imagine
a whole nother. Yeah. Soon, probably, and probably to Charlotte.
Maybe. If they have his discovery right. Apparently they have everyone's discovery rights.
That's complete made up silly rule. Like the Walt Disney discovery.
The European mind cannot comprehend.
Yeah.
But yeah, Atlanta recently in recent games seems to be playing more of a counter-attacking game, or at least trying to.
Right.
Where they kind of just do kind of hoof the ball forward a little bit more and try to get that in behind those back, like when back lines step forward, they try to have Latte Lot on the shoulder of that last defender and then just kind of launch the ball forward and see if he can get onto it. And he has a couple of times, to be fair. But they kind of have to do that more consistently because sometimes they kind of revert back to, oh, we're holding the ball. And I'm like, no. And you go against the Red Bulls and we're like, okay, yeah, perfect. Play your counterattacking game. Don't hold the ball. And they hold the ball. And I'm like, what are you doing, man? Yeah, this is literally the team that you don't want to hold the ball against.
Yeah, no. Yeah. No.
And so if they play counterattacking against y'all, based on what you've just told me, I feel at least a little bit more encouraged that something decent will happen. But if they don't and they start trying to get cutesy with possession, which they're not great at, I just think this is probably gonna be a blowout.
Yeah, the crew with Cucho, when we had possession, it was always dangerous. This is very much harken back to, your listeners might know or have reference to, like the Greg Berhalter United, USMNT, where we would have 70% possession and 3 shots. And it's like, you don't get, Skittles for having possession stats. Like you don't win games necessarily. Like it's good. It's fun to watch, but that's the issue we've been having this season. So if you have somebody up top, because I was just going through your players, man, you guys, half your team is old.
Yep.
Like our team is historically really young. You guys are like almost all over 30. Guzan, I think
Guzan is 40, so he's weighing the average up a whole lot.
And we will boo him, but we don't like hate Guzan. It's just something we do. And if he ever like wastes time, even a second, the whole stadium you'll hear it. It'll be so loud. It started with Bradley, and like unfortunately, it's gone on to Brad.
We did that with Bradley too.
Which you should have. All Bradleys forever and forever. But yeah, Guzan is like, I just saw on Reddit, someone's like, why do we boo Guzan? And we were just like, I don't know. We call him Boozan. You just boo Guzan. I don't know. You just don't act. So you'll hear that no necessarily disrespect, but yeah, I will be screaming at the top of my lungs.
It's all good, man. We love a little bit of kind of stuff like that.
Yeah.
We're up for it all the time. But yeah, I'm interested for this game. I'm interested to see what happens because it seems like both teams are trying to figure some things out and trying to figure out their form. Columbus seems like you did get that win against Vancouver, but I think going into that game with Philly, which I think is the real test for y'all really do kind of want that momentum of beating Atlanta, beating them at home.
Yeah, we have you at home and then Philly at home, and we're hoping to turn because we just went on. The teams we just played were very tough, and the games were, not ideal. We're hoping to kind of like pivot and turn, and we could. I mean, it'll be interesting. It says you guys play a 5-4-1, so if you hit us on the counter, it could be, and we've been giving up the first goal. I think we've only been in the lead after scoring the first goal for 7 total minutes this season. So what? So you're still like, yeah. So like we'll win games like 2-1, but the other team will always score first.
Gotcha.
It's a crazy stat and it doesn't make sense, but it's been the first 15 minutes we just drop the ball and then they just sit back and and that's also why our goals have been poor is because we used to score first all the time. This season has been completely flipped. So if you can grab one early, it will be a game. But yeah, we'll see. You guys are struggling.
Yeah, man, we've heard that one a lot. We've been through it, man. This season is it's been a crap show. It's unfortunate. This is supposed to be the Miggy, return story and the big time. And
what's he doing?
Whatever he wants, really. So he was brought in to play right wing, and then he was kind of like, nah, actually, I want to play the 10. And so he just goes into the middle of the field because he just feels like it.
Cool.
And that's where he started running into Moranchuk and bad things started happening. And so they're like, okay, fine, play the 10. And then they played him at the 10 and he was still not great because he's slower now. He's not as dynamic as he used to be.
Yeah.
And also he hasn't really been great passing the ball at the 10. And he doesn't take the long shots that he used to anymore. And so they're like, okay, you're not working here, buddy. Let's move you to second striker because maybe.
I don't even see him on the team. Is he hurt?
No, he's good. He was with Paraguay for
Got it.
The international break, which was before the last game, and he was on the bench for that game because he had literally played like 2 days before 90 minutes against Brazil. So
got it.
They gave him the rest in that game. Same with Latela.
Okay.
But yeah,
so
he's going to be fully
there
available. He'll be fully available unless like he gets injured in training or something, which, knock on wood, that doesn't happen.
We don't got turf. You're welcome.
Turf jokes. I'm used to those. But
oh, that's right. You guys play on turf. Maybe it's reverse. Flip it and reverse it.
Maybe. We'll never know.
But
yeah, we don't know a lot of things, but we do like to predict. And speaking of which, here are our score predictions. How do you think that this game ends?
We'll win 2-1.
That's fair.
We just haven't really been scoring, but we also like at home. I think Nancy's only lost like maybe 3 games at home since he started. Like we just don't lose at home. Yeah. So, and we've been at home. We're rested. Yeah, I think it's going to be hard. It's going to be a hard smash and grab.
I mean, yeah, the last time Atlanta won at Lower.com Field was 2021, I think. So right. I'm not expecting that to change this year.
But Wednesday night games get squirrely. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like anything could happen.
Well, hopefully. I mean, I am on the side of chaos at this point. I have given up on, this team figuring out how to win games on the road, but maybe they'll give us a nice surprise. I would like that.
Jeez.
Ben, where can folks find you?
My house address?
Well, internet, social media, or if you want to give away your house address.
Familiar with the Outer Belt. Yeah, we're just at Upper 90 Club. We got a LinkedIn out there, Spotify, Instagram. I think we're on Nazi Twitter still. Blue Sky, Friendster, MySpace. We are on Facebook. It's where you should get your news. And I think that's it. And I'll be at the game. Come find me. I'll be hanging out with Tommy. I think I convinced Tommy to go streaking. So I think we got him. I think we got him.
All right. We'll have to ask him about that one.
He won't do it.
Nah.
He's gonna wuss out.
Of course. Can't shave his beard. He's gonna go streaking.
That's what we should do. We should play whoever wins this game, you shave. I got the mustache.
Yeah, dude. That must have taken a while to.
That's like my weird superhero. I can grow hair like that, except for my head. Because God hates me.
But yeah, sick mustache, dude. Yeah, that's gonna do it for this episode. Be sure, guys, to check out the website, scarfsandspikes.com, for news, opinion, articles, all types. Check out the shop. Cool. We have t-shirts, we have hats, we have beer mugs, beer glasses, tons of different things for you to represent Scarves and Spikes, unlike me right now, because I'm not wearing any of the merch. So I'm
gonna buy some.
Thanks, Ben.
I'm gonna get one.
You should get one of the beer glasses.
I thought you said beard glasses, and I was like, whoa, what is that? That is crazy.
Wait, maybe.
I thought maybe it was like
beer glass. How about that?
I'm
bringing this up to our next meeting. Hold on, I'm taking notes here.
I'll lead it.
Make sure, if you haven't already, join the Patreon. $1.17 a month gets you access to exclusive content. We got interview audio. We got our unfiltered series. We got our Patreon mailbags where we answer the questions that y'all send in, as tame or spicy as y'all send them. So that's motivation. Also, you get access to our Discord, where we have tons of really cool conversations, really cool community going on there. And we look forward to adding more of y'all to that.
Get in there. Get stuck in. What are you doing?
That's what she said. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. See you next time.
Woo!